Happy Friday night! So, if you're drinking tonight, this video may put a damper on things. So I want to talk to you about today whether you struggle with addiction, addiction to sex, juicy sex, addiction to alcohol, addiction to pot, addiction to being right, fucking moving, whatever. What I want to talk to you about is why your addictive voice doesn't give a fuck about you. Doesn't give a fuck. So I just had to hop on and talk to you guys because I got super fucking inspired today. And a few of my friends were dealing lately with alcohol addiction. And I've been talking to them and they've been reaching out. And let me tell you, it really reminded me of what it was like when I was addicted for 14 years and I had totally different life. I would say a life of debauchery and a life of, you know, my name used to be Suze the Booze. That was awesome. That was really classy, really classy. And I struggled with addiction for 14 years. And the minute I tried alcohol in my life, I loved it. It was awesome. We were like this. We were just like, friends. But the problem with me and alcohol was I couldn't stop. I always would not just drink one, but I would drink like 20, 10, 5. There's that saying with addiction, and here's the thing, you don't have to have alcohol addiction to be addicted. You could just have cravings for sweets, craving for sugar, cravings for sex, cravings for busyness. You know, people that love to busy, you know, that's the fucking hugest addiction there is. Busyness. Cleaning. You know those people that can never sit still? Never sit still, can never slow down. You can't meditate for more than 20 minutes. Because if you do, everything starts bubbling up. Is that you? If that's you, it's okay. Tell me, guys. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. And this is the thing. We're so nervous about talking about addiction or habits or cravings. I don't know. Anybody on the call, if you feel that, it's like, this is why I love to be very blunt about this stuff and just bring it up because we all got it and it's nothing to be ashamed of and there's always a reason for it. But I want to share with you one of the tips that I really felt was helped me kick my addiction and my addictive tendencies, because it wasn't just an addiction that was the issue, it was my brain. My brain was fucked. And I had addictions, you know, the addiction is the symptom. So it's not the problem. The addiction is not the problem, okay? The Twinkies are not the problem, okay? Your Shiraz is not the problem. It's that you're addicted to either being perfect. You're addicted to feeling like you have to prove yourself to be enough. You're addicted to finding or chasing love, okay? So for me, it had such a fucking hold on me. And people in my life now would not even be able to recognize the person that I used to be because it was radically different. And just to give you guys an idea, that I always like to call this voice in your head, and it's this voice that we all have. And this voice will say something like, for me, when I was addicted, it would say, "Oh, Susie, you know, you can have just one drink. You can have just one drink. That's okay. You can do it." Even though in my life, I never had one drink, I always had like 10 drinks. So even if I had 300 blackouts in my life, 300, that's how many I had, it would say, "Oh, you can handle it. You can handle it. What's one drink? You can handle it." Or it would say to me, it would say, "You deserve it. Oh my God, you deserve it. You've been working so hard. You've been doing so well." Even if I was sober for 4 months, I'd go, "Oh my God, you're sober. You haven't had a drink. You should celebrate. You should celebrate. You're going to have such a good time. No worries." And it was so convincing. It was so convincing. And it was a war with myself. I don't know if anybody has experienced that when they're dealing with their mind, whether it's with food or whether it was alcohol or whether it's with just texting a guy, a guy that isn't responding back, and you feel like you're checking your texts, like every second, every 2 seconds. Anyone feel that? Or maybe you're ruminating. You're ruminating over the same thing again and again and again and again. Or maybe it's OCD thing and you're checking. You're nervous about the door. Oh, did I lock the door? And you check and you check and you check and you check and you check. It's these tendencies that we have. Or maybe it's your weight and you keep looking at your weight in the mirror, looking at your chin, doing all these things, going on a diet. You're addicted to dieting. So this is the thing. This is the struggle sometimes in our minds, and it robs us. It robs us of everything beautiful. All peace, joy, self-worth. And I'm telling you, I had to get so... If anyone's on the call, I love you guys, and I'm just on a rant today. I just got a rant. But I'm telling you, drinking for me was about to destroy every single fucking thing I loved in my life. I drove my car through Toronto in a blackout one time in my recovery. Hi, Kimmy, I love you. It's good to see you. It's so good. So anyone that's just jumped on the call, we're talking about addiction. It could be addicted to anything. And why this addictive voice in your head doesn't give a fuck about you. And I just need to be, today I was like, I need to say it like it is. Because sometimes I talk about drinking and I have fun with drinking because I can actually drink in moderation now. But here's the deal. Not too much good comes from drinking. Okay, not too much good. I mean, yes, it's fun to go out and have fun, and I do that, and it's great. But let me tell you, especially if you have an addiction, this voice in your head, and I like to think of this voice like the beast on the Nicorette cigarette commercial. You know what I'm talking about? This beast, that's this plump, fat, ugly beast with warts all over, just fucking licking its chops like, And this beast, is like, come on, just have one. And the thing with this beast in your head, it doesn't care about you. The only thing that this beast cares about, and some people call this the ego, which means edging God out, edging divinity out, edging consciousness, connection to your inner divinity out. This beast doesn't give a fuck about you. It only gives a fuck about staying alive. And by the time it stays alive, you could be dead. You could be dead. I just remember, for me, this voice in my head, if I listened to it like it wanted me to, I would have ended up dead in some alleyway somewhere. My parents found me at one point in an alleyway, passed out drunk. This is where drinking took me. It destroyed my friends and my family and started to like destroy my work. And so the crazy thing is I had no idea why I drank. And you know what I know with people and my clients, if you're on this call and you're like, oh, that's not me. That's not me. Let me tell you, 99% of my clients that come to me, they have no idea why they do things. They don't know. They don't know. They don't even know what they're feeling. You know, they don't even know what they're feeling. They don't even know why they want to lose weight, why they want to meet a partner. They haven't even questioned. They just think, oh, I want to meet a partner. They don't ask why. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to make a lot of money? Because you got to check where these actions come from. Because if these actions don't come from love and inspiration and joy, but if they come from fear, if you want to make money because of lack, it's not going to come. It's going to be the wrong direction. So people, you know, this is the problem, is 95% of us are disconnected from the truth within ourselves. So when I had to quit drinking, there was this book I read, and it was called, if anybody knows anyone with addiction or yourself, there was this book called Rational Recovery. And first of all, anyone on this call that struggles with addiction to anything, I want to hear what you guys are addicted to. You know, and we don't have to feel ashamed about our addictions. You know, there's times when I'm helping people heal from addictions and I say, how many drinks can you have? So we don't have to feel this shame. So tell me, if you're on the call, what you are struggling with, what addiction you are struggling with. I want to know. So here's the thing. There's this book I read, and it's called Rational Recovery. And they referred to this voice in your head as the beast. And when my addiction was super strong, super, super strong, I started to refer to this voice like the beast. And I would talk to it because it was a fucking war. And it would start just telling me what I should do. And I would just be like, hell no! I'm not listening to you. Enough. I'm fucking done. I'm like, I know where you're going to take me. I know you don't care about me. I know you don't care about my well-being, because look what has happened because of you. And I had to start waging a bit of war with my mind in the beginning because it was so strong. It was so strong. And that voice, I'm going to tell you, it's going to tell you every reason in your life to not change. Every reason in your life to not get a coach. Every excuse in your life to continue doing the way you do. You know? You're not going to have fun. You're not going to be able to have fun anymore. How are you going to have fun? Everyone else is having fun. You know? It's the same thing with embarking on self-work. Well, why would you want to do that? That's scary. You know, what are people going to think? How are you going to get the money? How are you going to get the money? How are you going to, where are you going to get the time? How are you going to afford it? This is the thing, because this ego doesn't like change. This beast in your head, this is the weird thing in life. It's like, even though the where people are at sometimes suck, even though it fucking sucks and it's full of suffering, The one thing it is for people is familiar. And let me tell you, people like familiar. People like familiar, right? And this is the thing. Stepping into the unknown can be super duper scary. But the one thing with addiction, and this is what I say, if you're a person, you're like, why can't I quit? Why can't I do this? I always like to say, the pain of the present moment has to become greater than the pain of confronting your past. Your bottom has to come up. Because, you know, for me, drinking, like losing my car, sleeping with men that didn't respect me, being raped, you know, these things were brutal. But the one thing that was more painful than all of those things, which still, all those things still weren't painful enough. You know, being sexually abused, being raped, being this. You know what the thing that was the most painful for me? The thought of losing my family. The thought of losing my family. So that's why when people, when bottoms come up, like even with COVID with people, it's so good for you. Suffering is the doorway. It's the doorway. Because people don't change when things are okay. People don't change when things are like, you know, what's the word? Tolerable. Shit has to come up. That's why I used to give, whenever I would meet a homeless man, I'd give him $2. I'd be like, I hope he gets a lot of booze and has the fucking worst night of his life that almost kills him. Which sounds crazy. But that's what's going to change him. Especially if people have a ton of suffering. Ton of suffering. A ton of childhood trauma. Because if you've had a ton of childhood trauma, let me tell you, it has to get really bad in order for you to be able to go back into some of those painful memories. You know what I'm saying? Kimmy says, what does she say? I seem to bounce on when topics that relate to experiences. Ah, that's awesome, Kimmy. Yeah, fake coffee, carbs. Yeah, you can have addictions to carbs, addictions to coffee, whatever it is. It's just craving. And this is the thing I found even with addiction. I just wanted to be free of the craving. I wanted to be free of the craving. The craving was the killer. You know? Craving was killer. So why always people try to protect their kids from suffering? Suffering is a blessing. Suffering is the answer. Suffering is the way. You want to not avoid suffering. Suffering creates change. Being able to sit in suffering creates resilience. You know, this is even quitting an addiction has made me so strong. It's unbelievable. This is the hardest thing I ever did. The hardest and the best thing I ever did, ever. And so for if you are struggling with addiction, I want you to know, first of all, that a different life is possible. A different life is possible. You know, because we don't believe we can do it. And we don't believe, like, for me, it had such a strong hold that I was married to drinking. It was my lover and it was my frenemy altogether. But I just never even knew that this life that I had now, I couldn't even imagine. It just is insane. The self-worth that I have now is fucking miles away. You know, having a child, you know, having a 6-figure business. Unbelievable. And you know what the craziest thing when I was a drinker? I didn't even think I had the ability to choose. I didn't even think I had the ability to choose a different life. I don't even know how to express that to you, but it didn't even seem like an option. You know? So if your voice, the first thing you want to do, if you just have this addictive voice, you know, and if anyone's needing help with this, man, this is my specialty. And you don't need to feel ashamed about having an addiction, okay? You don't need to feel ashamed about this because it's not your fault. And once you start to go into the truth of actually why you have it, it's going to bring you to tears. It's going to bring you to it's going to leave you in a pool of tears because you're not broken and it's not your fault. And these behaviors have deep, deep roots. Deep roots. And they don't come from great parenting. They don't come, you know, we're talking deep, deep, deep trauma. And that's why we need compassion. Matri, unconditional compassion and kindness for ourselves. We need to take a stand for what's possible in our life. You know, we need to believe in ourselves like nobody else has. And this is why I made this video, because fuck man, I had a friend that's struggling, and just I can feel the war that is going on. And I swear it just it brings me back. So start to write down your thoughts. Start to notice those thoughts in your head, because those thoughts, let me tell you, those thoughts that say, it's not possible, you can't do it, you can't handle it, you can't make more money, quitting is impossible, you're not smart enough, you're not capable enough, you're not competent. Who's going to believe you? Who's going to believe in you as a coach? Who's going to, all these thoughts. These are not your thoughts. These are not your thoughts. These are not you. When I started to say, instead of saying, I am incompetent, I am a failure, I would start just separating that I am a failure to, oh, I have a thought that I am a failure. I have a thought that I am a failure. It might not be true. As Byron Katie says, is your thought true? Do you 100% know that your thought is true, that your belief is true? 100%. Because we go through our life and we believe our thoughts are true. And we live into them like our thoughts are true. And our thoughts all come from what we've been told in the story we've been told, in the parenting we've been told in the past. And because as long as we believe those thoughts, then we will keep getting what we have. So in order to have a different life, we got to start thinking new thoughts. And in order to start thinking new thoughts, we have to first, one, be aware of the thoughts that we're having. You got to be aware. I get this all the time. People that are depressed or anxious, but they don't know why. And it's because what you're not aware of is what thoughts you're thinking. So if you're getting depressed and anxious, you got to start writing those thoughts down. You got to write it down, yo. You got to write down those thoughts. You got to journal and get it down. And then to start changing those thoughts, you got to first start honoring those thoughts. You got to start acknowledging those thoughts. You got to start being able to, not just repressing them and saying, oh yeah, I'm not a failure, even though deep down you believe you are. And let me tell you, your dreams are going to tell you what you really feel about yourself. Anyone get that? Anyone on the call get that? Your dreams are the truth. Your dreams are how you truly feel about yourself deep down. So you want to know? You got to write down your dreams. All your fears, all your subconscious thought, they come out in your dreams. So if you want to change your thoughts, you got to learn how to go in and acknowledge those feelings and where those thoughts originally came from. Where did you first start believing those thoughts? And then you got to start to give space and attention and nurturing to those feelings that come from those thoughts. And you got to start grieving the pain that is associated with those thoughts. Do you see? Because you can't just change thoughts. No amount of CBT and is going to work. CBT sucks. CBT doesn't work until you have gone into the trauma. You've gone into the emotional self. You got to heal it. You got to feel it to heal it, baby. The more you cry, the greater future you're going to create for yourself. I swear. The more I cry, the richer I get. Okay, the more I cry, the more love that comes into my life. The more I give myself compassion and attention, the less I am addicted. The more nurturing and honoring I give myself, the more magical my life becomes. Agree, it works after you've done the feeling. Yep, you got to feel it first. You got to feel it to heal it, guys. You got to feel it first. You can't change the thought first. It doesn't work. So anyone that's addicted, that is struggling with their mind, stop honoring your excuses. Stop giving that beast one more ounce of your energy and your compliance. He doesn't care about you. You know, that's the thing. Where's your life going to be if you always give that attention to those negative, disrespectful, untrue thoughts that you have? You know, where is your life going to be in 5, 6, 7, 8 years? I'm telling you, choose yourself. Know that a different future is possible. I am telling you. Start to recognize what you're thinking. That's the first step. I love you guys so much. I know that you could do it. I know that you could do it. Whatever you put your attention to starts to grow. So if you want a different life, put your attention on that. Book a breakthrough call with me. If anybody is, wanting help in this area and they want to kick it, they just want to kick it, any single vice, book a free breakthrough call. My program is has modules in quitting addiction. It has modules in shadow work and how to radically love yourself. It has modules on how to do deep inner child work, how to go into the muck and to shift the deep layers. I just had a client of mine actually say, "Holy shit." She was, after the session, she was like, "Oh my God." In all her years of therapy, she had never done the kind of work we did in one session. Yeah, baby. If you've gone to counselors that just talk, "Hi, Michelle, I love you." Just talk, just do surface talk. Whoa. Your mind is going to be blown. Oh my God. I love you guys. Book a free breakthrough call. I love you. I'm going to I think I need to go because I've been chatting for like half an hour. But yeah. Say fuck it to your addictive voice in your head. Set it on fire, you know? Anyhow, oh my God. I love you guys. Tell me, anybody on this call right now, I want to know right now what you want me to talk about for my next video. Anybody have any suggestions before I go? Anyone have any suggestions? I'm going to stay on for one more minute. If anyone has any suggestions, tell me what you want me to talk about. And two, if anyone is thinking of my program, my 90-day program, it's unlike other programs because there's so many counseling sessions. I think I give like 9 counseling sessions and 9 group sessions where we do deep work too. So it's 18 sessions together where you can radically change your life. This is why, it's not going to take you one session to quit an addiction or find love or any of the above. You need the tools. And that's what we teach in the program. We teach you the tools so that and this is the biggest thing that I had, that since my addiction, what I have that I never had, is I have the tools that whenever I have emotions come up, I know how to go in and I know how to shift it. And it's so freeing. Anything, any feeling, I can just go in and move and shift it and actually create more of what I want because of it. So when anxiety comes up, I get excited. It's not like before where it's like, "Oh no, I'm broken. There's something wrong with me." It's like, "Ooh, what's this going to be about today? Oh my God, I can't believe it. What magic is coming into my life?" 555, if you guys know the number, breakdown, breakthrough. Breakdown, breakthrough. Anyhow, I love you guys so much. Michelle, Kim, you guys are amazing. I'm so proud of you on your journey. I'm going to wrap it up. Click on the link if you want to book a session. I love you guys. Enjoy your Friday night, I guess. Okay, big love.